Hey everybody, welcome. This is my first ever video we're going to be doing on a how-to. I've gotten plenty of requests by a few friends of mine, and of course one of my riders, one of my newest subscribers. I want to thank him for joining the channel. He knows who he is. Like, he wants to learn how to play. Okay, I get it. Not everybody. When I first saw Magic, I thought it was complicated. It looked it, but looks are deceiving. It is divided up into 5 steps. You got your beginning phase, first main, combat, second main, and then your end, where you end your turn. Well, a lot of these turns don't happen in that order, but that's generally the order you go in. Now, first things first, you're gonna need a deck, and I just so happen to have a pre-built construction. It's a construction deck here. It's a Liliana. As you can see, it's a shiny Liliana there. It's the Death Mage. This one consists of 60 cards. The minimum you can have in your deck at any time is 60 cards. This video here is going to be a basic how-to video. The basic steps on the phases and everything else. The next video I'm going to do will be more in-depth on mechanics, like, the abilities on the card. But first off, we're going to focus on how to set up, how to play. Okay? And your card types, of course. Start off, you have that's a planeswalker. They are not creatures unless they say so on the card. And again, that's a mechanic we'll go over. There's a few of them that say that. Not every one of them do it. This down here is your loyalty counter. As you can see, hers is a 4. Now right here, the +1, -1, -7. Them are her abilities she has. You can use one of these at the time you set it down. So when you set it down like this, that's when you can actually use it. Now, then you have your creature cards. We're going to show you the creature cards here. There you go. This is the next. These are going to be the main cards you're going to have in your deck. Is creatures and spells. But these are the creatures in the deck. Various ones. Show you right here, where that right there. That's the type of mana you need. If it focuses, there you go. That's a swamp mana. And right here is the power and toughness. 1/1, power 1, toughness 1. Basically, their attack and defense. It's the grim position. There's his ability he has. It's a static ability he has. You don't have to do anything. It just does it anyway. Now, other cards will have like this. This requires at least 2 swamp mana and 4 of whatever. Since this is a dark deck, it's going to be 6 regular swamp mana you're going to use. Or if you use it in a multicolor deck. But that's what those are right there. That means you need 6. Usually you want to keep the higher number cards to a minimum. Right, that's them. There you go. There's my camera focusing finally. And then you have spells and sorceries. The instants, sorceries, you're going to have them in here as well. That's these right here. Instants can be played right away on your opponent's turn, as long as you have the mana to accommodate. Again, they have the same setup where this one here takes 2 mana, and that's what it takes. This pretty much gets rid of a creature. You can use this on your opponent's turn to get rid of something. 2 mana, it gets a -4 until end of turn. And which, if it doesn't have the health to do it, it kills it. Or you can use this as what they call a sandbag. When you sandbag them. Sandbagging pretty much is on their turn when they attack and you want to defend, you tap 2 mana, put that down, he gets a -4, and it kills your creature, saves yours. But again, we'll get into that mechanics in another video. Sorceries are done on your turn, and then you got enchantments. Enchantments are pretty much, you can enchant your creature, you put it down, or it enchants the entire field for the entire characters. And then you have here, this is the basic of basic thing you need in your deck is mana. These are the basic manas. Some of them get really fancy, like this one here. This is the new one from the Ikoria set, I believe. They came out in the, oh no, I'm sorry, Core 2021. My apologies on that. They came out in Core 2021. They're beautiful. They look really, really nice when they're foiled. But this is the basic of mana you'll need. Depending on how many you need is depending on how many creatures you have and what they need. So now that we've gone over that, the basic of what you need in your deck, of what the cards are, now I'm going to go over the steps. Now, the first step you're going to be doing is your beginning phase. At the beginning phase, is the 3 steps you're going to do. They have the untap, upkeep, and draw. So what you're going to do, untap pretty much means if you have the mana here, and you tapped these 2 mana, or we're going to do 3, I'm sorry, we're going to do 3, to put out this enchantment aura, right? To put out this card. Now, on your beginning step, you're going to untap these, and you do your upkeep, which is pretty much, this happens directly after the untap step, and this the first time players may take action during a turn. Abilities that triggered at the beginning of upkeep go on the stack, and the players can play instants and abilities. That's where you can play an instant. Also, you can play an instant on their turn as well, mind you. Now, the draw step is obviously your deck. You draw a card from your deck. Obviously, that's a mana I didn't shuffle this deck. I'm not going to shuffle it without card sleeves. Number one thing to do, get card sleeves. So now that we went over the first phase, next is the first main phase. Your first main phase, there's no spiffies in this steps in this one. This is the giant phase where lots of usual stuff happens. Assuming it's your turn, you can play any type of spell or ability during this phase. By contrast, since it's your turn, opponents can only play instants or abilities at this time, not creatures or sorceries. So again, when they get to the first main phase, you can do that. While you will generally want to cast combat-orientated sorceries or enchantments during your first main phase type, like the Blatchwood Armor, for the most part, you'll want to wait to cast other spells and creatures until after combat occurs, and this leaves your opponent uncertain as to what they might play. Now, your third phase is combat phase. Combat happens where you have your creature out. Let me get a creature. Anyone. I'll put him out. There we go. Combat happens when you have a creature here and your opponent has another creature. He's a flyer and he isn't. We're gonna say this is you, this is your opponent. He's a 5/5, he's a 3/2. Now, you can attack. When you attack, you declare an attack. Your opponent declares blockers. After blockers are declared, both players again get the chance to play instants and abilities. So, when you attack with him, he's going to declare a blocker, if any. The opponent don't have to block, and neither do you, if you don't want to lose a creature. Now, if he was a stronger card, you'd lose a creature if he declared to block. He might not want to. He might take the damage. Each of you start with 20 life points. And the first one to get down to 0 loses. So he's going to take 5 straight off the bat. That's a quarter of his life already gone. So after that, you tap. Now, once you're done attacking, you tap him, and you go to your second main phase. The second main phase is just like the first one, only except post-combat. You can play the exact same things here that you could play during the first main phase, including playing a land, providing you did not already set one down at the beginning of your turn. That's what you always do. always play lands. Every turn you get, when you get your cards, let's say this is my hand. Obviously, it's not. That's a lot of land. First, on your beginning of your turn, play a land. Automatically, it comes out untapped. Unless it states on the card, it comes out tapped, then you would put it like that. You can't use it yet. But always play a land. Always, always. Strategically, this is when you should probably cast more of your creature and sorceries and enchantments. It's the last chance you'll have to do so before you pass your turn to your opponent. End phase. Now, here's what the ending happens. There are two things that you'll want to pay particular attention to regarding wording of the cards that reference end of turn. They both refer to things that happen during the end phase, but one happens during the end step, which occurs during cleanup. End of turn step, the player can play instants and abilities during this phase. Cards that say end of turn have a trigger where they happen at the end of your turn when you're done. So when you end your turn, it now goes to your opponent. Your opponent does everything. Now that you attacked with him, if he decides to attack, you can't block with him because he already attacked. But there you go. Them are the basic steps on how to play. Next video, we're going to be going over mechanics and what to do. Just want to let you know, damage calculation on a card that has equal or close to, like these two. We're going to go to the creature spirit against this one, Liliana's Scourger. This is a 2-1, he's a 3-2. Now, if you decide, now let's just say for argument's sake, this one here had trample. You attack him, and I block. He's a 3. It would minus the 1, and I would take 2 damage. That's what trample does. That's the one mechanic I am going to say because a lot of them have it. But when you attack with this, no trample, no nothing, he dies, this one dies. Because 2 attack, 2 defense, 3 attack, 1 defense. They both die. Damage calculation, you got to add up the attack and defenses together. So it's attack versus defense, attack versus defense here. Because the card technically fights back. Alright, well that's that video for how to play. It's the basics, how to, basic deck setup and how to play. Next video is going to be on certain mechanics you'll see on the cards. What they say, like going on hexproof and all that. Stay tuned for that next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please give me a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. If I did, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this over with, get this done quickly so my viewers can actually see it. And let's play Magic, guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for the view. And as always, be safe.